The criminal escapes overseas. It's an incredibly high jump. Is there such a phrase? It varies from country to country. Whether there is a criminal mutual assistance agreement, and each system can request investigative cooperation individually, the agreement is established, but it does not stand. The sovereign nation requests the suspect's extradition, which cannot be done. Even if the criminal is known, it has not been caught for many years due to this reason, and it is the story of a long-time case that is getting closer to solution over time. Matsushiro Women's University murder case. She was a second-year student at the agricultural department of Matsushiro University at the time. On January 31, 2004. Miss Miho Harada left her Miyako City, Ibaraki Prefecture home at 0 a.m. She was discovered unconscious, floating on the Seimi River in Mihomura, approximately 6 kilometers away, hours later. Harada, from Yamaguchi Prefecture, was popular among friends for her bright and serious nature. She managed the university triathlon team and had a dream. Why did such ordinary college girl have trouble? Was she found in an unusually altered state? The incident is mysterious, and these are the current details. At 9 p.m. on January 30th, Ms. Harada returned home around 9 p.m. on January 30th to find her male companion waiting. They ate and began drinking. Since around 9 o'clock this afternoon, there were no calls or emails received on Ms. Harada's phone. Around midnight, 3 hours later, Ms. Harada went out. Ms. Harada left around 3 hours later, leaving a note for her acquaintances saying she was going for a walk and would return by morning. She often used these walks to create distance during heated discussions. It's believed this is when she actually went outside, not when her companion might have heard a noise and gone to the restroom. It seems to imply that. Miss Harada was virtually blind and left her glasses and contact lenses at home. Even her handbag was left behind. Perhaps she just wanted to clear her head, but the fact that she walked out of her house without taking anything suggests she was emotionally shaken. That's the background that emerges. At about 9 a.m. a change occurred at the River of Life in Miyotani village, roughly 6 kilometers away. A 53-year-old man found Miss Harada dead while out for a walk. She was fully clothed. Blood stains were left on the nearby concrete bank. There were no signs of a struggle at the scene. The autopsy revealed the cause of death as asphyxiation from neck compression, with slit wounds on the neck and deep stab wounds in the chest reaching the heart. The police quickly determined the case was criminal and began investigating. The investigation immediately revealed the following facts. Bloodstains and a pair of black jeans were found on the riverside embankment where the body was discovered. Statements from the victim's contacts were also obtained. Jeans found in person A's house during his marriage were determined to belong to his girlfriend. The embankment, about 2 meters high and wide enough for a single car, is a sandy path without street lights, making it extremely dark at night. It's a place where few people pass by, and it's about 300 meters away from the nearest house. From the contents of her stomach, it's judged that she died around 1 o'clock and 4 hours after eating. From her house where her bicycle was found, there was no blood or reaction. The main investigation department assumed she encountered trouble and was murdered shortly after going out. This occurred on February 4th, several days post-incident. The investigation headquarters mobilizes 350 investigators to advance their inquiry. Additionally, a missing bicycle was found at her home on this day. A key was found attached to a bicycle rack about 8.2 feet from her home in a vacant lot in Tsuchiura City. A pink light was attached to the handle. It was hers, but there was no sign of struggle around it. She vanished after being last seen on the 31st around 8:00 a.m. According to witness testimony about her abandoned bicycle, there was no further sign of her, including no wedding. Due to the extensive connections, investigators initially believed the crime was committed by someone the victim knew. Although we heard from university and circle acquaintances, no one was suspected of involvement in the crime. Suspicions that the social partner was the criminal were unfounded. He reflects on that time like this. Without catching the criminal, people speculate who the culprit is. I was sad that I have lost a friend. More than anything else, it's been a month since Harada-san lost his girlfriend who will never return. The investigation headquarters is deploying 2,550 detectives to verify each piece of gathered information and evidence individually. The thorough investigation is ongoing. The use of multiple weapons suggests there are multiple perpetrators. The possibility of offenders is also considered as the crime was discovered late at night. The crime scene was in a place not easily noticeable, which also surprised us. There weren't many witnesses, but among the available information, credible details include 2 men in work overalls getting out of a white van. In 2007, 3 years post-incident, 3 years later, the police still hadn't identified a suspect. The victim's parents, in their desperation, offered a reward of 2 million yen for information leading to the perpetrator's arrest. The following year, the police also decided to apply a formal reward system for this case. Following the announcement, they showed an unyielding determination to catch the culprit. However, they were still unable to identify the perpetrator. Time passed, and it was January 29, 2011. We have received new information regarding this matter from the City News. This is to say that multiple male DNA were found in the victim's body. The investigation division believes multiple people committed this crime and continues investigating. January 31st, 2014, 10 years since the incident occurred. Harada's friends are seeking information. His friends, who are distributing flyers in the vicinity of the scene, are present. He said there were times when he avoided facing it directly and instead faced it from the front. But more than that, why? I don't have an answer. If she hadn't been murdered, would she still exist? Revealing the truth can be done for her sake. The only thing was to move on, as there was no way the perpetrator would be captured in this year, and the system of proving had also been abolished, which was disappointing, and it happened 3 years later, 13 years after the incident. As public interest had faded, this case moved little. However, there are characters talking about the incident. A piece of information was sent to the investigation department. Based on that information, as a result of the advancement of the investigation, 3 Filipino men, ranging in age from their teens to their 20s, surfaced on the investigation line. 2 of them had left the country 3 years after the incident occurred. However, remarkably, one of them was found to still be within the country. He was living in Tsuchiura, where her bicycle was found when the body was discovered. A man with a history of working at a factory near the crime scene. His name was Jerigo Moli, known as the Ramp. The investigation headquarters identified the Ramp as a person of interest and began a full-scale investigation. The results of the A test matched the A found on her body attached to the suspect of the Ramp. Almost 14 years have passed since the incident on September 2nd, 2017. The suspect of the Ramp was arrested for alleged murder and fatal robbery, thanks to the resolve of the police. Finally, his friend's thoughts reached him. The motive for the crime was shockingly impulsive. He committed the crime forcefully when he saw Harada-san while hanging out with his friends. He murdered her to silence her, fearing the consequences of getting caught. He married and had children before being caught. He remained in Japan despite the risk of arrest. His obsession with money was the reason. In the latter half of the proceedings, he repeatedly professed his love for his family. He was notorious for his past criminal record with the local sheriff's office. Indeed, he committed the crime. He speaks of himself at the time as immature and naive. This is unacceptable, especially on January 16, 2019. Life imprisonment has been confirmed. According to the defendant's testimony, the crime was committed with 2 Filipino men. Saishu Prefecture Police have issued an international warrant for the remaining 2 suspects in the case. The 18-year-old man expressed his desire to turn himself in by the end of 2018 and requested entry into Japan. He entered Japan on January 24, 2019 and was arrested for this case. However, one person remains at large. The 19-year-old man remains at large. This was discussed during the press conference. This is because there is no mutual penal assistance agreement between the Philippines and Japan. It's extremely regrettable that we can't arrest the known criminal. International operations are underway. Entering Japan or countries with mutual penal assistance agreements with Japan will lead to arrest. It's a thorough attempt to rectify their conduct, to the point of killing. While we sincerely pray for the happiness of the woman who became a victim of this incident, we also hope for the earliest possible conclusion of this case. With that, we end here for today. Thank you very much.